On this episode of Colescraft, I take a whack at upholstery for the first time and build some cushions for this chair. What could go wrong? Really, I have no idea. I haven't done it yet. Before I go too far into this, I want to be perfectly clear. I am not a professional. I have never done this before, and this is probably going to be a showcase in what not to do. Now that we have that out of the way, we can get started.
I'd also like to point out there's probably people who are clued in that are watching this that are going to be screeching at their screen. Well, I would invite you to use the comments section as an educational area and include what I missed or what you would like to add. Thanks. Here, I'm just using some half-inch plywood as backing for my cushions.
From what little bit I've learned from YouTube University, there are four parts to the seat cushion. So we're going to have a base, which is what we're going to staple everything to. We're going to have Dacron material, which has another name. I'll put it in the bottom in post editing because I can't remember it right now. But this is what kind of gives everything the shape. Then you have your foam, which gives you your comfort. And finally, of course, you have your outer cover. In this case, it's going to be leather. Because no part of this chair has straight lines on it, I want this cushion to have a nice crown and also not have any straight lines on it. So to do that, I'm going to cut a small piece or two of Dacron in the middle here to kind of give the foam a little bit of a crown in the middle and slope to the outsides.
I literally only watched one video before trying this, and the guy was a master, so I'm basically following everything that he did in his video. That makes me a pro, right?
So this foam is Amazon's finest, and it was $20 for a roll. This is 1 inch foam, so I'm going to cut a couple of squares to stack on top to get 2 inches and see how that fits. One thing I do want to mention is this was the firm foam, and it feels a lot like a memory foam mattress. That's pretty comfortable. Okay, so this is what I'm using for adhesive here. It came recommended on Amazon, so that's probably right. Medium strength, fast speed. That's a lot like me. Okay, so we're going to take this stuff, peel our layers back here, and just kind of lightly glue everything together. Smells kind of like PVC cement. Maybe I should open a window. Or maybe not. Okay, so just to recap, I've put a little bit of Dacron down, and then I put my foam on top of it to build the actual structure of the cushion with a little bit of a crown to it. So the next part is with the Dacron again, and it's going to like wrap around the edges here and give everything its final shape. I'm going to lay this out. And then I'm going to put this upside down, position it so that I have enough material to wrap over on one side. Professional guys have pneumatic staplers. I'd imagine because they're doing that thousands of times a day, they don't want to do it all by hand. But for this introductory performance, we're going to do manual. So we're starting in the middle. I'm just going to put a couple staples there. Then I'm going to kind of push it over, kind of draw it down a little tight. And then I'm going to come over here and cut more than what I'm going to need. Okay, so I've cut enough to wrap all the way over. So what I'm going to do is pull it and wrap it over. And then I'm going to cut off the excess. Now, what doesn't seem right is he seemed like the stuff he had, he could pull tight and kind of round the edges over. And I just don't seem to be getting that from this stuff. It seems like it's tearing. So I'm going to do the best I can with it.
So all I've done here is just start in the middle and work my way towards the outsides, stapling and then trimming off the excess.
This has more or less the general shape I was going for. It has a nice crown in the middle. I was hoping the sides would be a little more rounded down, but the Dacron is just not strong enough for me to really like tug on it and pull it over. Alrighty, folks, this is where it counts. We're going to roll out our leather, and I've got to place it so that I have enough material to wrap it up and over. Probably more than I need. But I have half a cow to play with. I assume this is a cow. I really don't know. I know that it was the cheapest stuff I could afford that's real. But I digress. All right, so this is going to be the similar process. We're going to start in the middle on this side, go to the other side, pull it tight, start there, and work our way towards the edges and see what that nets us. Well, here's where I'm at so far. And it has not been difficult. It's just a matter of stretch and staple. There's no wrinkles. The difficulty of this entire project is where I'm at right now with the corners. So what I need to do is measure. All right, so this is front to back. So we'll just say that this is going to be the front of the cushion here. And so we don't want to see the fold. I'm going to have to undo a staple or two here and back this out and wrap this underneath so that the pleat is on the side. And I'm going to figure it out, and then I'll show you what I did.
I'd like to point out that in my infinite wisdom, I did not Google how to master upholstery corners until after I finished the project. And lo and behold, there are so many easier ways to do it. I'll add those in after this, but until then, let's watch me struggle. All right, so I'm going to call this my underside and this my overside. And what I mean by that is when this side goes under and this side goes over to make the flap. So that's what I mean by under and overside. So to start, you're going to staple your underside all the way up to the edge of the board here. And your overside, you're going to leave it short about an inch or so. So now what you're going to, the process is basically rolling all of this underneath and folding it over. But there's way too much material here. So you're going to end up cutting most of this out. So the way I figure out what to cut is now that I have this staple all the way up, I'm going to start rolling this flap over. And all of this stuff under here on this bottom side needs to go because there's no space for it in the fold. So you're just going to gently come back under here with your scissors or your knife and cut over towards the edge. And again, if you're not sure about how far to cut, always cut less because you can always cut more later. But if you cut too much, you're kind of stuck. So cut a small piece out here to start with. And then I'm just going to come back and do it again. And the way I do it is just keep cutting. I'll keep trying to fold it under and see what's sticking up the most. And then I'll go in there and remove that. So see, all this stuff in here is bunching up and making a bulge right here. So I'm going to come back with my knife and cut a little bit more of this stuff out. And you just kind of keep working away at it little by little until you get enough cut out that you can fold it over without any big bulges sticking out. There's a lot of jokes I can make there. I'm going to leave that one alone. To help this roll kind of stay in place, on the underside, I will pull it. This is the edge of the plywood here. I will use my index finger, kind of pull it over and around the corner down the overside. And to kind of help hold this in place, I'm going to get my staple gun and put a staple in. You can see it's starting to
starting to look better. There's a lot less material there bulging up, but I'm still not there yet. I have probably an inch underneath here that I need to remove to kind of get out of the way. See all this? All right, so I've been messing with it now for a few minutes, and it's about as good as I think I can get it. And so what I'm gonna do next is hold that there and then come back with my staple gun and staple my over part against the edge right here. Just like that. So now everything's kind of tacked in place. It's not moving. You can cut all of this stuff off, and then you're gonna have a bit of a wrinkle here. I haven't figured out how to get that gone yet. I'm sure there's some upholsterers that are absolutely just screaming at the screen and have probably rage quit by now, but again, I'm not a professional. This is not a how-to. I'm just showing you how I do it. This is the underside of the cushion, got it all cleaned up and nice. So I'm going to install it for the final time.
Well, folks, if you watched the whole thing, thank you very much. If you skipped ahead, that is completely understandable. I will not hold it against you. But I'll just say that the back cushion was done exactly the same as the front. And you can see here the results aren't perfect, but for someone who's done it for the first time, I'm not upset about it. Earlier, I had mentioned going back and showing how to do corners better, but on second thought, I think it'd probably be better if I just link you to actual professional videos. So I'm going to do that instead. Finally, I just want to say thank you again to all the positive comments on my construction video where I built this chair. I put a ton of effort into the videoing and editing, and it's starting to show. So my promise to you is I will continue building things and challenging myself, maybe not always with wood, but I will always show you where I struggle, so hopefully everyone can learn with me. Thank you.